Well, then again, I guess we also kind of hear things through our own filters, right? It's like what we're ready to look at or absorb. And there's information coming to us, and I look at like everybody sees it, but not everybody sees it. It's like it it bypasses their radar to even grasp that they were given the information beforehand. Yeah. So I guess that's the part of asking about to see everything or what's important for you so that you can um, access it when you need it, or, ponder it before you have to step into it, prepare yourself. Like, that's why it's just good to know astrology or have a good astrologer on hand. It's like how Ian, you were saying that you saw it coming for October and you were preparing for months for what was coming.
A
And that's
year, basically. A year.
preparing a year in advance for what we're in right now and moving out of it.
I wouldn't say we're moving out of it yet. Yeah.
Is it more like February?
I would say like maybe December,
Okay.
when Saturn and Jupiter move away from Capricorn.
Okay.
And now Mars moves straight, and the squares isn't so bad after that. So but until December, not so fun times in my opinion.
Okay.
Same will continue or probably get worse. Most likely get worse, actually. Yeah.
And then I look at Banya there in the United States of America. It's like, oh God. I mean, it's not just there; it's here too in Canada for sure. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's a circus. It's fine. It'll go away.
It is a circus. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just really affects us when we're just putting our mind only there instead of looking at other things. That's where, for me, a lot of times I'll focus on the future because there's so much things going on, and it's so easy to get pulled one way or another and get stuck in a thought or energy that just keeps wanting to pull you in. So I'm always asking the universe how to plug in. Is there something there that I need to connect with or be aware? And so, and studying prophecy for lots and lots and lots of years, you see a lot of things going on the planet. So trying not to just get tunnel vision on that one thing and get pulled in, because in the past, sometimes I would do that and I get really frustrated and anger, and it could take like 6 months before I realize like, whoa, I need to get out of this. So I try really lots, like especially in the morning, is like you just start up and start a new day. So yesterday's finished, and what is it I need to do today, or what is it there that I may bring in that is going to be new, or trying to be aware, because there's a lot of books here too that I feel I'm going to really start reading. And we've been collecting a lot of books for a while, and it feels like I'm going to start going really back into that, like looking for some deeper answer, like where I got to. It feels like there's something that I have to sort of go off the cliff and drop down further. And in what Alada said for this year coming in 21 for me is, I think it's Neptune that's gonna take me into a more spiritual, or where I'm gonna get more sensitive to everything that's going on the planet and people and that. And I remember in the past they would do that to me, where I would feel so much I would close off. I would try to be alone because the energy would get way too intense. So I've been feeling that since my birthday, that is something coming. And when she said that, I'm like, okay, then I'm right on about what I've been getting from the universe. And there's a book there that I hadn't read in a while. I'm in a long time. I bought it. I think I started and then I stopped. Mercedes brought it up, so I pulled it out and I read a few pages and put it down. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll just power through this book, and then it feels like I'll start with all the others. But it feels like information again is going to get really, really important for me, and going deeper. Like I see myself doing things I shut off for years, and start practicing and doing things again, and just being in that space where that I need to be. It feels like a lot of other people are slowly shifting there. It's like your focus is somewhere ahead, but you don't know what it is you're going to actually be looking at or searching or looking deeper into. Even for Cindy, it feels like there's stuff there that she's going to go a little deeper, and I'm just watching her, seeing what she's going to place where and different things, because it's always interesting to watch her and see how she does things.
Well, it was interesting for this weekend. It was, so yeah, we traveled to 2 different cities to do energy work for people that wanted it. And there was people that had no idea who we were, and they just made these appointments, and it's like, why? Why did you make an appointment with these strange people? And it's like, and some of them were just really super trusting, and they knew inside that it was something that they needed, and they were open and they received really well. It's like how their energy would expand in that moment, just like you could feel it, and it was exciting because it's like, wow, you don't even know what you're doing, but you're so open and you're so willing to receive and to let go. And we saw some really big things happen with people. And then you had the opposite, like, well, we had the opposite where the person is tight-lipped, quiet, doesn't want to give any information to the psychic reading that they think that they're getting, when we very clearly said this is not a psychic reading. You know, when you go to the psychic and you're like, I'm not going to tell her anything about me and see if she's right. And it's like, that's how they were treating Joe, like, and they just sat there trying to expressionless, like they never even nod their head. You're just like, an hour of that is like, oh my God, the energy just doesn't move, and it won't move because the person's like, I'll show him. You know, it's like, I'll prove you wrong. Here's $100. You're wrong. And then we had people, we had a wait list of people in one city that we're in. And then we had a lady not show up for her appointment. So I messaged her. I'm like, are you coming? And she's like, oh, well, I don't really think I have the money right now for it. So no. I'm like, but you like booked the appointment. Like, you knew that we were coming from out of town. And I mean, it was totally fine, because then we got a lunch and we needed it, and it all worked out for us. And another lady canceled her appointment last minute, which was good because another lady who really wanted it got in. It was just interesting to be around people who are in and out in different ways. I want this, no, I don't. I want this, no, I don't. You know, either they make the appointment, they don't show, they cancel, or they sit there quietly, stone face, and they're like not receiving. So the universe is never going to force you to do anything. They're never going to force you to believe anything or see anything. Your soul, your guides, all of them, they'll wait till you're ready. And opportunities are always there. If we'll see it, is another thing. Sometimes we don't realize that we had our opportunity and we said, oh no, not right now, I'm not ready yet. And then time happens and things are going on, and you miss the boat, where it's like getting knowledge, like reading the books. We have all these books like to read it or take the classes or gather the knowledge and the information. What are you waiting for? If it has presented itself to you, and I mean, that bookshelf over there, I probably read like 10 out of the 200 that I have on there. So like, what are you waiting for? The knowledge is there waiting for you when you're ready. You can always go back to the past. Like Joe will say often to people, the universe will never take away anything you're not willing to let go of. The more willing you are to let go of old practices, old beliefs, old ways of thinking, and allow in that space for that new energy, that knowledge, and choosing different ways about getting to the future. I don't know, it's like getting to the future. It's like it's happening with or without you. But I guess my point is that you can always go back to the old is always there waiting for you. And one thing, when I was choosing to be in the relationship with Joe, I had this magnet on the fridge, and it said, to have what you've never had, do what you've never done. And I kept telling myself that over and over again, because we already know what will get us to the point that we're at, because we've already done it. So it's like, what can I do differently? Is there new thoughts I need to have, new practices, new beliefs, or whatever, new friends? How do I do that? Which is like, it's difficult, especially in society today, where alcohol, for an example, is so accepted. Like, it's totally okay to be to drink. But then if you want to go on spiritually, you raise your vibration up to a higher level, and you start experiencing your world around you at a higher vibration. And then you go and have wine or whatever and drink for the night. The next morning, you're like, oh, you're way down here again. You'll know it. You feel it. It's called the hangover. It's because you've dropped low in energy, and that's up to you to choose to partake or not. But if you want to go up higher in energy, you got to kind of do practices and let go of certain things. And it can be difficult. So asking your guides to help you to find ways to overcome those challenges, those addictions, those patterns that keep you in lower vibrations, if it is something that you want to do, which is letting go of the old, making space for new energy to come in, and choosing different things.
Yeah, I always say experiment.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is to live without, say, drinking for a period of 6 months, and practice all kinds of spiritual things to see how high it's going to take you. Then get drunk, and then see how the energy comes down, and maybe drink a little bit and see how it pulls you lower. In the natives, in the sweat lodges and everything, if a person is drinking, we try to get them not really to come to the sweat lodge. And that we always say it takes 4 days for all your energy to come back to you after you drink it, for your body to cleanse and then reabsorb and get everything back in. Where when you usually have a hangover, I know when I drank, it would be sometimes 10 days before I actually felt good again after a long spree of drinking. And I just didn't feel good, and I'd be jittery, and I'd just be really disconnected. And after about 10 days, I'm like, whoa, I feel really good. And then I get all excited, and then somebody say, hey, you want to go and drink? And then you drink again, and then the energy be gone. It's just like, and it took so long for it to come back. But in the sweat lodges and that, they try to get people to realize that if you're going to be sweating and you're drinking, you're dehydrating yourself. So if you go in a sweat lodge, it could actually maybe hurt you, because you need a lot of liquid in your body, and you're going into a super hot environment that might not be a good thing. And some medications do the same thing. They pull all the liquids and everything out of your body. So we try to get people to let us know that, if you're on medications or you've done this and that way we know that maybe, like an elder might say, well, you could sit in the first round and maybe sit in the last round or something like that. And we always try to protect people, but start experimenting for yourself. Is this something that maybe brings me down and then I can't connect, and it's not something else, but maybe it's something we're doing? It's like having allergies. It's, you take something out of your diet for a while, you feel really good, then you go and eat it and you feel just awful again. And the more you eat it, the worse it gets. And some people, they break out in all kinds of ways, and then they get off it and they're like, oh, I just feel great again. And then they unknowingly start eating it again, and you go through these things. And so in your experiments with anything you're practicing, whether it's meditating or just sharing knowledge, because as your mind's opening, it's trying to lift you to the next place. Are you ready to be in that next place? And that's scary for people.
Yes.
Because you go in and out of sweat lodges, you go in and out of a lot of different ceremonies, that energy flies high, flies low, and you want to get to this place, but you don't know what you've done to get there. So what is the experiment inside yourself that you're going to be conscious of, that when you get to this point, you're going to be able to hold that energy and let go of things that don't serve? Because we're going to pull back all the old familiar stuff again that brings us back down. And we're like, I don't want to be down here. I want to be in this higher, beautiful energy and attracting all these good things and feeling really amazing. So with me in my life, I did a lot of experimenting. I looked at things, and for myself, I'm like, okay, if I do this, am I going to get some sort of change? So that becomes very important when you're practicing different beliefs, because some of them you have to let go because they contradict and they override others because you're still hanging on here.
Mhm.
And like I say, the universe hasn't taken it away because you don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
So some things won't bring you up higher until you release this. And then you'll find a door open and you're like, whoa, this is amazing. And it might take you to a plane where you match that energy very fast. So you're in this higher vibration, but you've matched it now and you don't feel that way. And it's like you need to kick it up to the next thing. But what is going to be the next thing? So searching and trying all these different things
Yeah.
helps in different ways.
Like when Joe just said, it's like, okay, well, what is the next thing to take me up higher? So it's obviously something you haven't done yet, or you would already be up at that higher place, perhaps. Like, so going back down to an old practice, like a meditative practice down here, won't help you to get up here because it was part of, your beginning journey, right? So why go back to the beginning of that journey when you've already advanced to this part of this higher energy? You'd feel the energy vibration that you're in, and you want to go even higher than that. It's like, maybe I just think about the book, The Keys of Enoch. It's a pretty heavy read. I read it at the beginning of my, let's say, spiritual journey. And I read the whole book. I didn't understand none of it. But I read the whole thing. And I really didn't understand it. But I opened it up because it came up for someone's, I think maybe even Banya's, I'm not sure. But for somebody's reading, I opened it up and I was like, holy crap, there's some big truths in here. Okay. Back then, I didn't have the energy space around me to understand what this knowledge was about. So I get going back to some knowledge. Is there something, am I ready for this knowledge now? Because maybe I wasn't ready back then. This is a good question to ask your guides, yourself, your soul, and follow the feeling inside of you, but check in. It's like, if I want to go back to an old meditative practice, for example, why? What makes me want to do that? Will it help me to, expand my energy? Because maybe it will, but it's good to ask and check in with yourself why it is that you want to go back to an old practice or even old knowledge like that book. Because it feels like when I looked at it, I was like, okay, yeah, now I'm ready to understand what's in this book, because I couldn't understand it before. I just did the action of reading it. So yeah, check in with yourself and asking yourself questions. As you go up in energy, you're going to really understand what's good for you and what's not good for you.
Also look at fear and resistance, because we all have some sort of fear or resistance, because we all feel things. Some things are really excited and we jump in really fast and it does really lots of stuff, and then we get afraid and we run away, and it's really, really new. Like I say, there's a lot of different practices in this North America that are indigenous, and lots of them do different things. And like I say, you can go to Central America, you can go to Tibet, India, all over the place, and have profound experiences and euphorics and all kinds of other things. And these energies can carry for a long period of time. Then you disconnect, and next thing you're just plugged back into the world, and you're like, you want to go back to that place. But is there a fear? Is there something that's come up, or there's a resistance because you're not ready? And some people, when they're resisting, they're forcing things too much, and it's like they're slamming doors. And every time something happens, they just seal it up because they're not ready inside to just allow that expansion and be so big with all the knowledge. Or if they have it, what are they going to do with it? Because now that you've changed, can I go and sit with my mother? Or can I go and sit with my grandmother and be wide open in this energy and just channel and just be who I'm really meant to be? Because people are terrified when they change to go back around their friends or any familiar things from the past, because now how are they going to perceive me? Am I woo woo, or have I got bonkers? Oh yeah, I'm hearing all these voices. I was like, everybody's like, oh yeah, people go, oh, can I really do this? And when you open up and see more and more and more, the universe is going to open your mind, and things just happen. They just come in, and you're not doing anything, because whatever answers you need, they know where to bring it. They know what parts of your mind need to tune in and tap in. And you have many, many new guides around you, and they're all working with you. And it's like new. And it's like, is it okay for me to allow this? Or am I just plain crazy? And when you're meditating and you're going deeper and deeper and deeper, many kinds of things open up. There's many places. And when you connect with people, they will shift you up, down, in and out, because you have to match people's energy. If you're in a super, super high energy and there's somebody really low just beginning, the universe will drop you down sometimes to match a person's energy so they feel safe in their opening. Then afterwards, you'll go back to higher energy. So you have to allow them to orchestrate things, and you have to allow them to come in and out. So I don't try to say, well, I need all this today. I just want all these gifts wide open, because the person's coming to me, they may not even need any of it. So I don't need all of that. So I'm just like, okay, plug me into the things I need to help this person with, and bring me to that energy where I can hold that space, open it up so they feel safe. And now they can step into it and know that's okay for them. But once that has changed and they step out the door and they go, oh, the world's there, I'm going to go visit my friend, but they're going to think I'm nuts now. So you have to look at these different things that go on internally with yourself. And that's a really big part of it.